But saying I want to move on to our last segment here. It's just called
Sure.
the lightning round, and so I'm just going to ask you a series of questions, and then give as quick of an answer as you can. And it's just so that our listeners and our viewers could kind of see how you think about certain issues, and maybe what are some of your
Sure.
values, and what are some of the things that make you tick. And so the first question I want to ask you, saying, if you could start a new business for the Hmong community and you had a large budget, so you didn't have to worry about money, if you could start a new business, what would it be and why?
Well, I think I would start a real foundation. Like, because I think
Uh-huh.
that our community, how we think of foundations and nonprofit,
Mm-hmm.
is in a very limited capacity.
Mm-hmm.
And usually when, like they don't understand that a lot of foundations and nonprofit are multi-billion dollar entities, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so our community hasn't really seen that yet, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that there could be true philanthropy done. And so I think if I could start anything, I would start like a Hmong American Foundation
Okay.
to really help people
Yeah.
to do that. And so
Nice.
because like I said, I think that our the experience that our community having would has been really negative and limited.
Mm-hmm. Saying, if you could write a fortune cookie and everybody would read it, what would you have written on that fortune cookie?
That's a tough one. I don't know. Um, I don't know. I can't think of it.
Any words of like wisdom or encouragement or anything to brighten someone's day if they were to read
I would
it?
just say like just follow your passion, follow your heart, like
Mm-hmm.
because I think at the end of the day, it's not like how much money you make, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because just in my experience, I know a lot of students that completed college and um, things didn't work out as planned, right? Like they
Mm-hmm.
may have completed a degree and they're not doing anything with that degree, but then they're doing something that they're happy with.
Right.
And so I would say I was if I could write a fortune cookie, I would
Yeah.
say like go to school and follow your heart or something.
Very cool. Um, Saying, are there Hmong people in your life that have had a direct or an indirect influence on you? And if so, who are they?
Well, one person that has really had an influence on me is my one of my Hmong professors,
Mm-hmm.
and like his life story was hard. Like when he came here, he only know like yes, no, okay, right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so he had to learn one word per day.
Mm.
And throughout his educational journey over 20 years, he was able to complete his doctorate. And so, like, his story has always inspired me to to see that. I mean, I could do it as well because he was able to do it, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So that's one thing that I think really was influential on me to really try to focus on school and things like that was, but I didn't have to deal with the hardship that he had to.
Saying, do you have a morning routine? And if you do, well, what is it?
I don't really. I
Uh-huh.
just wake up early and then cook breakfast for the kids and then get them ready for school.
All right, there
So,
you go.
yeah,
That's very
yeah.
important. um, what would need to happen right now in your life for you to say that you're successful?
I think that if I think I feel like I'm like success for me is like when you're able to share in the success of others
Mm-hmm.
because I think sometimes like too much in our community or culture there's so much competition, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I think that a lot of times when people see a Hmong person that's successful, they often try to bring them down or don't support them. And I
Yeah.
think for
Mm-hmm.
me,
Mm-hmm.
like that's something that we have to
Mm-hmm.
move beyond that mentality because we have to when you see someone that's successful, it's because they have a lot of support, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so I think one thing that we have to be able to share in the success and have others share in our success and bring them along.
Mm-hmm.
So we really have to break that mentality of competition and things like that.
Like I mentioned before, we're celebrating about 40 years of the Hmong people being in the United States. What are some challenges you see for the Hmong community in the next 40 years? And what are some of the things that you're hopeful for in that next 40 years as well?
Some challenges would be we really have to motivate the second and third generation, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because when you look at like some of the statistics, you see that those that came first, that many of them had to struggle with language, and they overcame the hardship and they did really well with school.
Hmm.
Um, whereas the second generation, a lot of them are too comfortable and they don't aren't really motivated to pursue higher education,
Hmm.
right? And then it's similar to other Americans where
Hmm.
they just don't see that it's valuable. And so I think that we really have to continue um, motivating the second generation to pursue higher education because that really opens the door of opportunity for our communities
Hmm.
to keep doing that. And so I think that I see that, like among the second generation, there's that sense of complacency
Hmm.
and they're just too comfortable. They don't have to deal with hardship. And so
Hmm.
I think that we need to instill those values about pursuing higher education in our community. And so I think in the next 40 years, I think you said success, right? I think that um, based on like those that came before us, like they have accomplished a lot,
Hmm.
and like I mentioned, like that first wave, like they struggle with language issues,
Hmm.
writing, and for the second generation Hmong American who are scholar or doing research, like we don't have to deal with that anymore.
Hmm.
Like we're able to overcome a lot of that, and so and I think that the next group that comes after us are gonna take it to the next level too.
Hmm.
So we're building this legacy, in terms of documenting Hmong history and culture, preserving our language, preserving our culture, and so I think that in the next 40 years we'll continue to do that. Like I
Hmm.
think I think our culture is not gonna fade out.
Hmm. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Saying, are there any books that you've read that you would recommend to our viewers or listeners?
Well, I read a lot of books, but
Yeah.
I read for a class, so like it's academic text. So I think just like on my free time, like I try to read Hmong authors.
Hmm.
So I would just recommend like um the Hmong American writers.
Hmm.
Several of them are have been published lately.
Okay.
So just if people are interested, they could Google Hmong American writers,
Uh-huh.
and so there's like Maida, there's So Vang,
Hmm.
and there's also a Kao Kalia Yang,
Hmm.
her her new book, the song poet.
Hmm.
And so I mean, like this year, there's several really good books that are out, poetry and stories, and also my name more has the Bride Prize that just came out.
I heard about that book. Yeah, I
Yeah,
heard
so
about that.
so
Hmm.
so it's
Hmm.
in terms of Hmong literature and Hmong writing, um, like this is like a historical year,
Hmm. Yeah.
having having all these books come out by
Yeah.
Hmong writers that are getting recognition for it too.
Mm, that's really awesome. I totally agree with you that, yeah, we should read more among authors and writers. Um, saying we're about to close up. I've had just an awesome time speaking with you, and I know there's a lot more I'd want to talk about and a lot more you can share. But before we end here, I want to give you a chance to just share any last words of wisdom or encouragement, or just any last things you want to share to our viewers.
Well, I think go back to my statement about competition and
Hmm.
success, right? Like I really do mean that, like that that to be successful is really to be able to share in the success of others. And so I think that when you meet someone and then they're successful,
Hmm.
learn from them, like talk to them. And I think that my last words would be like that saying, it's not just what you know, but who you know,
Hmm.
right?
Hmm.
And then I would add that also like who knows you, right?
Mm.
Because that really will
Yeah.
help you in the future. So it's not just about like what you know or who do you know, but
Yeah.
also who knows you, who knows the
Right.
work you're doing,
Right.
and that could really open the door for opportunities for you to follow something that you're really passionate in.
Hmm.
So I would end with that.
Yeah, because you could know a lot and know a lot of people and still be alone, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
Oh, right. Saying thank you again so much for coming on to the show and sharing your valuable moments. Thank you again.
Yeah, you're welcome.